Demonstration turns to celebration in the streets of Prague, Czechoslovakia, as the power of freedom-hungry people topples another communist government. This is the CBS Evening News. I'm Charles Kuralt, sitting in tonight for Dan Rather. Good evening. The entire hardline communist leadership of Czechoslovakia resigned today under pressure from the people. Party chief Miloš Jakeš becomes the third leader forced out in 5 weeks in East Bloc European countries. From Prague, Richard Threlkeld begins our coverage of the changing face of communism.
After a full week of protest, some of it bloody, they had something big to celebrate on the streets of Prague tonight. In night after night of huge demonstrations, they demanded a change in the government, and tonight, finally, they got it. They shouted the news on every street corner. The old government is over. We want free elections. After a full day of emergency session, the Communist Party's Central Committee announced the party's top leadership, the Presidium, had all submitted their resignations, and the committee is electing replacements. Among the casualties, the unpopular party boss, Miloš Jakeš, who said he's resigning so that democratic changes can be carried out. It leaves the moderate Prime Minister, Ladislav Adamec, free to pack the leadership with reformers more to the demonstrators' liking if he chooses. It's obvious the sort of leadership the demonstrators have in mind. Earlier tonight, they cheered the man who created communism with a human face here 21 years ago, Alexander Dubček, who told the crowd, "We must fight for democracy, and it won't be easy." And Dubček was right. There has been a big change tonight in this government, but there's a lot of protesting yet to come, and a great deal more for these protesters to achieve. Charles?
Much joy, but no democracy, not yet, eh, Dick?
Well, I think, I don't mean to be a spoilsport, but they may be popping those champagne corks a bit early. The new man, the new party secretary, a man named Karel Urbanek, is Jakeš's deputy. He's no reformer. He's known as a hardliner, and although he may turn out to be an opportunist and see which way this democratic tide is obviously swimming, as it has in the past week, it may be a little early to see a great deal of change in this government.
It was Dubček, Alexander Dubček, who was ousted as a reformer 20 years ago, whose name they were chanting there today. Is there any remote romantic chance that he might return to a position of leadership someday?
No chance, Charles. He's gone beyond that, I think, and the country's gone beyond that. I think at this point they're looking for younger leaders, and they're also looking more for not what Dubček offered them 21 years ago, which was communism with a human face. They're looking for beyond communism. They're looking to change the system.
Richard Threlkeld in Prague. The historic developments in the East brought together two leaders of the West today. We have a report on that from Chief White House correspondent Leslie Stahl.
Reports of the changes in Czechoslovakia were brought into the meeting today between British Prime Minister Thatcher and President Bush at his snow-covered Camp David retreat. Noting this is only the dropping of the first shoe in Czechoslovakia, White House officials say, "We hope this signals a willingness to respond to the legitimate desires of the people."
We have great hopes that Czechoslovakia will also become a democracy, but the wish is not the deed. And it does take quite a long time to get all of the democratic structures into place, and they must be genuine structures, not just a facade.
The president invited Mrs. Thatcher for consultations as he prepares for his meeting next week with Soviet leader Gorbachev. He assured her there will be no surprise shifts in U.S. foreign policy.
I'm just very interested in getting the views of the Prime Minister on rapid changes in Eastern Europe and strength of the alliance and everything else.
The two leaders discussed the idea that because of reforms in Eastern Europe, President Bush may slash U.S. defense spending by $180 billion over 5 years. Mrs. Thatcher seemed to issue a warning.
Don't disarm too fast. Every single step on disarmament has to be agreed with the Soviet Union so that neither their security nor our security is in jeopardy.
Even with the changes in Eastern Europe, the White House doesn't expect Gorbachev to drop any big bombshell in Malta. But Mr. Bush's team is drawing up a list of possible Gorbachev surprises with suggested U.S. responses just in case. Said one official, he's so unpredictable. Leslie Stahl, CBS News, the White House.
There was a most unusual meeting in Moscow today. Mikhail Gorbachev and Polish Prime Minister Tadeusz Mazowiecki, the first non-communist leader of an East Bloc government. They wished well for each other's reform efforts, and Mazowiecki assured Gorbachev of Poland's continued commitment to the Warsaw Pact. The more things change in the rest of Eastern Europe, the more they stay the same in Romania. The country's leader for nearly a quarter of a century was re-elected today. Our senior correspondent Tom Fenton reports from Bucharest.
There may never be another Communist Party Congress in the Warsaw Pact like this one. The organized cheering, the unanimous votes allowing Nicolae Ceausescu to run the country for another 5 years. The Romanian people had no say in all this. They have suffered silently as Ceausescu squeezed them until there are now gas lines in this oil-producing country and food lines in this rich land. To add to the misery, Ceausescu has launched a plan to erase half the nation's villages and replace them with so-called agro-industrial complexes. It's a bizarre scheme to turn farmers into workers and abolish the differences between town and country. In this village, private homes are already slated for demolition. This house belongs to an old woman who says, "It will kill me if my house is destroyed. How can I move? Ceausescu is crazy." Joanna and Stefan Jardash live across the road. Their house and garden are all they have. They say that if the order comes to move, like it or not, we'll have to go. This is the future that Ceausescu is preparing. Jerry-built apartment buildings, slums before they're even inhabited. It's no wonder that some of the people uprooted from their villages are not happy to live in them. Denied a real vote, Romanians are voting with their feet. In the past 2 years, tens of thousands have risked their lives to flee across the heavily guarded borders. Most of the refugees come from the Hungarian minority of 2 million in Romania, where their religion and folklore are forbidden. So they flee to Hungary and live in cramped refugee centers. This family managed to scurry across the border this morning. Free now, but afraid to speak for fear that those they left behind will be persecuted. Whatever the future brings, the refugees say, it can only be brighter than the new order envisioned by Nicolae Ceausescu, the last of the Soviet bloc's absolute dictators. Tom Fenton, CBS News, Bucharest.
East Germany's new communist leader says he's ready for more democratic reforms. In an interview published today, Egon Krenz calls for an end to the communist monopoly on power, now enforced by the East German constitution. Krenz says he favors elections that are free and democratic and secret. Still to come on the CBS Evening News, Ray Brady on the 25 shopping days till Christmas, and Charles Osgood on 20 years of Sesame Street.
How do orange juice, tomato juice, and grapefruit juice measure up to prune juice? You get more of 7 important vitamins and minerals in a glass of great-tasting Sunsweet prune juice. Sunsweet. Here's to your health.
Of all the Subarus registered since 1979, 93% are still on the road, which could mean the new Subaru Loyale will still be good on a hill when other cars are over it.
Hi, I'm Yakov Smirnov for Best Western Hotels. When we came to America, my mom and dad thought Columbus was the guy who discovered Ohio. So I gave them this free Best Western travel guide. It's full of maps, travel tips, and many locations with senior citizen rates. They liked it so much that ever since they've been in the car discovering America with their Best Western travel guide. Hi, Mom. Hi. They'll like it even better when they learn to drive.
Sir, did you eat all the crackling oat bran? Once again, sir, did you eat all the crackling oat bran? Please, sir, did you eat all the crackling oat bran?
repeat the question, please?
With the crunchy sweet taste of Kellogg's Cracklin' Oat Bran, an open box is an empty box.
A federal judge in Virginia dismissed all criminal charges today in the Iran-Contra case against former CIA man Joseph Fernandez. U.S. Attorney General Richard Thornburg, citing concerns about national security, refused to provide classified government information for the trial of Fernandez. The judge said today that made it impossible to try Fernandez at all. Linda Tyra reports.
The Joseph Fernandez case marks the first time an entire criminal indictment has been thrown out in the Iran-Contra affair. Fernandez, the ex-CIA station chief in Costa Rica, had been charged with lying and obstructing inquiries into Oliver North's secret Contra resupply mission. Fernandez's case was dismissed after Attorney General Dick Thornburg blocked the use of classified information, including how much the CIA knew about the secret airstrip in Costa Rica, which Fernandez helped to set up. The administration's decision angered the special prosecutor's office.
We're troubled by the actions of the intelligence agencies and the Attorney General, which have made bringing this case to trial extremely difficult.
Fernandez's attorney argued in court today that the classified information represents the guts of the defendant's case. Federal Judge Claude Hilton agreed. He ruled the information is essential to the defense and that dismissing the case was the only solution. Fernandez warned that his case may still set a precedent, with other CIA agents at risk of prosecution for undertaking covert work.
That is a chilling message to send to people who put their lives on the line for our country every day.
The independent counsel's office plans to appeal, still hoping to bring Fernandez to trial. And the Attorney General defended his decision, saying he believes there are other ways in which the case can be tried without compromising national security. Linda Tyra, CBS News, Washington.
Lebanon has a new president. Parliament elected Elias Harawi today to succeed Renee Moawad, who was assassinated this week after just 17 days in office. Harawi is a wealthy Christian businessman. He pledged his support to an Arab League peace plan aimed at ending 14 years of civil war in Lebanon.
Really love that Raisin Bran, huh?
You're looking at Raisin Bran lover numero uno, pal.
Crazy about it, huh?
You got that right.
Well, get ready to work a little overtime. Because you've got to work on 4 bowls.
4 bowls? No way.
But that's what it takes to equal the vitamin nutrition in just 1 bowl of Total.
You want to run that by me again?
Total, 1 bowl, 100% more nutrition than any other cereal.
Hey, that makes Total
numero uno, pal.
Now, from the cafes of Paris comes the inspiration for a new kind of mustard. Introducing Grey Poupon Parisian. Created especially for sandwiches, its distinctive flavor gives even the simplest foods a sophisticated accent.
Pardon me, would you have any Grey Poupon Parisian?
But of course.
New Grey Poupon Parisian, another of life's finer pleasures.
Excuse me, ever try this coffee? Oh, no. I use special gourmet beans. So do we. Ah, I roast them to perfection. So do we. I brew fresh, rich coffee. So do we, but then we freeze dry it to lock in superior fresh brewed flavor and aroma until you release it. Perfect. Who are you? We're the only ones who do all this. We're Taster's Choice, the choice for taste.
Thanksgiving behind us means Christmas is ahead of us. There's only a month of shopping days left. Business correspondent Ray Brady reports that this year Christmas shoppers may get the idea there are more sales than salespeople.
'Tis the season to be shopping, and around the country the stores and the police were bracing for this, the biggest single shopping day of the year.
We're going to shop until we drop today.
To get at those counters full of gifts and goodies, shoppers maneuvered for position. And they're off. In the minds of these Christmas shoppers, though, dance not visions of sugar plums, but of bargain prices.
I feel like we're right, it's a zoo. It's like
Across the country, sale signs are popping up in stores like Christmas ornaments. Some stores are going out of business, so they've got sales.
That's the stairway to heaven.
Others are up for sale themselves, like Marshall Field in Chicago. They're running sales to raise their purchase price. And consumers seem to know this is the year for bargains.
I'm looking for some things for like clothing or something that I can get on a bigger discount. I'm just looking around, just whatever's on sale.
Estimates are this Christmas season, overall sales of merchandise will rise about 5 or 6%. But while that sounds good, after inflation, it's an increase of just 2%. Not a really strong showing. So many stores this year are putting their help on commission to boost business. They're also trying to increase service to customers, something many customers still complain about.
There's less salespeople, less personal help, and I think, the department stores aren't what they used to be.
How could stores have overlooked service?
Because they felt they can get away with it. If everybody's service is bad, then they say, well, so what? At least we have the merchandise that you want.
I like to go out. Help, I like to go out.
Still, why be a Grinch? With prices coming down, for shoppers, this could be a very Merry Christmas. Ray Brady, CBS News, New York.
Is that all there is? It's kind of simple, isn't it? You sure all the good stuff hasn't sunk to the bottom? Well, where's the buried treasure? There's no mystery. Sip. This is just flakes. Mmm. I can actually taste the cereal. It doesn't need anything else.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
Corn Flakes?
Taste them again for the first time. And for a limited time, taste them again for just 99 cents.
You ever run up against a tough sinus cold? As tough as it gets, maximum strength Dristan is tougher. To sweep away congestion, pressure, and pain. And it won't make you drowsy. When you can't call in sick, call on Dristan.
Accidents happen. We can't stop them all, but we can have fewer, less serious ones, which would help lower car insurance costs. To do that, Allstate has combated drunk drivers and championed seat belts, airbags, and anti-lock brakes. Allstate's committed to building a car insurance system everyone can live with.
I eat nutritious meals with plenty of fruit and vegetables. So how come I'm the one with painful gas?
Surprise! Foods high in nutrition are often high in gas. But Gas X gets rid of the gas, so you feel better fast. Eat right and feel right with Gas X.
White House officials confirmed today that First Lady Barbara Bush made an unannounced visit Wednesday to Walter Reed Army Medical Center. Mrs. Bush has been treated for some time for a thyroid problem called Graves' disease. White House officials said Mrs. Bush has been troubled by watery eyes and episodes of double vision. This holiday weekend is no holiday for many children in the drug-plagued inner cities of this country. The sights and sounds of daily life can be frightening for them. Harold Dow reports tonight on one neighborhood's elementary solution, an elementary school in Philadelphia with a principal who cares.
When I'm coming to school, every time I go into school, is that street down there. I'll be coming past it. People be selling drugs.
LaVon and Daryl Stone are like a lot of inner city kids growing up in West Philadelphia. It's dangerous on the way to school.
Every day I live with it. Every day I think about it.
Getting here, I think, is 3/4 of the battle. Being here is not a battle.
Madeline Cartwright has been the principal here for 10 years. Crack, she says, has such a grip on the neighborhood that these children have become used to violence and death.
A rescue squad car came right down North Street with the sirens beaming away, and not a child stopped turning.
They were jumping rope.
Never looked up. You know boys playing ball? Kept on playing ball.
Some of these children may be only 9 years old, but they know firsthand what drugs are doing to America and to family life. They live with that reality every day. But these children are lucky. They've got Blaine Elementary, a school that has truly become a shelter from the storm. It's a school that feeds the hungry, breakfast as well as lunch.
It's a school that teaches pride. It's a school that shows compassion.
I'm not going to give everybody a hug. I'm going to give you a pat, okay?
And it's a school that teaches discipline.
You know, you are always doing something wrong. Don't walk up on top of me like that. Go in the office and sit down. You won't be back in it. Go in the office and sit. I don't tolerate any foolishness, sir. None. We came to school to learn. That's what we're going to do.
Discipline is important here. There isn't much at home. In some cases, crack has a lot to do with that.
If you know anybody, you know them, you personally, anybody who uses drugs, raise your hand. Our youngsters know that a pipe can ruin their whole life. They know that a pipe has stopped them from eating. They know that pipe has stopped them from being warm. One youngster came in, said to me, Mrs. Cartwright, Mommy sold my coat. Can you get me a coat? That youngster knows what crack has done. See if you can find your winter coat. If it needs a zipper, bring it in. If it needs to be washed, bring it in.
Blaine Elementary keeps a fresh stock of coats and clothes. The school also has a washing machine and dryer, all for the children.
We wash every day, at least once a day. Sometimes we wash 2 or 3 times a day.
Mrs. Cartwright, the principal, is also a substitute mother, helping children deal with the neglect at home.
I just want to help him take his medicine. Is that all right? I say to the youngster, I don't know what has caused this to happen. I'm sorry it's happening. But let you and I make the best of the situation and go on. You see, I'm put down his mother.
She says she wants the children to feel so good about school that they want to come. And her approach is apparently working. Attendance is up.
The classroom had perfect attendance Friday with rooms 301, 311, 316, 204.
Families shattered by crack. Teachers as parents. Can they save the children?
Sure you can. Sure you can. You gotta say that. You gotta say it. Because I believe it. I believe you can.
I came to school to learn, and I will learn. I will have a good day.
Harold Dowell, CBS News, Philadelphia.
The Volvo 240 has built a reputation for surviving accidents, and we at Subaru have always been impressed by that. So we gave the new Subaru Legacy wagon unibody construction, like the Volvo 240. But unlike the 240, the Subaru Legacy is available with full-time four-wheel drive and anti-lock brakes. Because the best way to survive an accident is not to get into one.
These are oats. Something you've been hearing quite a lot about lately. But while some cereals turn oats into processed oat flour, new oat bake from Kellogg's uses only whole oats. Then we simply bake them with nuts, raisins, and spices for the first cereal that combines the goodness of whole oats with the goodness of baked taste. New Kellogg's Oat Bake, the whole oat cereal with the crunchy baked taste.
It's 11:35, and Roseanne Horn is learning all about her antifreeze. The hard way. Don't push your luck. Guarantee it with Advanced Formula Prestone.
Come on, answer. Bran muffins have more fiber than almost anything. Except prunes. Prunes, the high-fiber fruit.
We're in the midst of a big birthday celebration. The birthday is the 20th. The celebration looks as though it may go on forever. Charles Osgood is our host.
For 20 years now, little kids have known what that theme music means.
How to get to Sesame Street.
There were educational programs before, but it wasn't until 1969 that Joan Gans Cooney and her Children's Television Workshop developed a show for preschoolers, using the techniques of the then popular network show, Laugh-In.
It was a simple idea, but it was executed in a revolutionary way.
Hi, Snuffy. The idea was to use television as a kind of video head start program to teach 2 to 5-year-olds, especially in the inner cities, about such things as shapes and colors, letters and numbers.
Okay, you go first.
1, 2, 3.
When I was in kindergarten, they started showing me shapes and colors. I already knew them from watching TV, you know, from watching Sesame Street.
Some of the characters have been there for 20 years. The humans, Bob and Susan, and the Muppets, Grover, the Cookie Monster, Bert and Ernie, and a 9-foot canary called Big Bird. Played all these years by Carol Spinney.
The original Big Bird was actually rather ugly. Looked quite brainless. Gradually, I realized that he should be maybe be a kid, not the village idiot.
Since lovable Big Bird is a kid, the other characters have to keep explaining things to him, and in the process, they are explaining things to the kids at home. Spinney also plays another, less lovable character.
If you've been in America any time over the last 20 years, you know that this is not just a garbage can. This is a home. Let's see if he's there.
You rang?
Oscar, why are you such a grouch?
Well, I can't see any reason to be pleasant. I like to be miserable. Like today, I feel quite miserable.
What do you feel
But
miserable?
that makes me happy. I don't like to be happy, so that makes me miserable. I like to be miserable, but that makes me happy, and wait.
It's a vicious cycle, isn't it?
Yes.
The guests are often top professionals.
When I realized that I grew up with the Three Stooges, you get some idea of what a tremendous achievement Sesame Street is.
I think it's just better than watching, you know, Robot Man blow up the cosmos, you know.
Well, I'm ready to go for a ride.
Entertaining as it is, every scene on Sesame Street starts with research done by educators and psychologists. Nothing gets on the screen unless it teaches something.
After 15 comes 16.
Oh, God, that is
16.
Sometimes Sesame Street teaches about life, as when Maria and Luis were married, and when they had their baby. Children learn.
I used to be my mommy's tummy, and I used to be a baby.
And they even learned about death, when Will Lee, who played the part of Mr. Hooper, died.
Big Bird, when people die, they don't come back.
Ever?
No, never.
In the world of television, where shows get tired after 2 or 3 years, somehow in reaching kids at these crucial ages, Sesame Street has been able to stay fresh.
You gotta put down the ducky.
And to grow from an American innovation to an American institution.
You gotta leave the duck alone.
Charles Osgood, CBS News, New York.
Put down the ducky. Put down the ducky if you want to play the saxophone.
And that's the CBS Evening News. I'm Charles Kuralt, sitting in for Dan Rather. Good night.
America comes home to college football's best. Penn State battles Pittsburgh. Number 1 Notre Dame faces Miami. Tomorrow, celebrate on CBS.
This is CBS.